Okay, we're live.
Where's the space bar?
We are starting chapter 4, and we are gonna do mod clock. So open up a AI 4-1 mod clock, and the first thing we're gonna do, I want to kind of go over what we're gonna do in this chapter. In the chapter, if you'll look at the very first page of chapter 4, we're going to transform objects, which basically we're going to rotate a bunch of objects around a certain point. We're going to offset and outline paths. And then number 3, we're going to create compound paths. So we're going to go ahead and get started on lesson 1. This is going to be a bunch of little bitty small lessons. So go ahead and click your long brown line, vertical line. And what they want you to do is they want you to rotate it. Now, they want you to rotate it around this point, okay? If you typically rotate this 30 degrees, it's going to rotate. Go ahead and rotate it and see what it does. 30 degrees. If you don't do anything, rotate it 30 degrees and copy. It's not doing anything. All right, hold on. Rotate 30 degrees, copy. It's going to rotate around the center. Okay, that is not what we want to do. We want to rotate it around this bottom point. So how do you do that? You click the rotate tool. Actually, you click the rotate tool one time, not double click it, which is different. You press Alt and then click on the anchor point in which you want it to rotate around. It opens up the rotate. And it is going to rotate it around that point. Now, what do you do to make that happen again? Control D or do it again. So do it again 10 more times and you will have that fabulous beginning of a clock. Now, what we're going to do after we do that is you're going to click your V selection tool and you're going to shift click every single one of those lines that you just created. Shift click. Shift click them all. Shift click. And then you're going to group them. Does anybody remember the command for grouping?
Control G.
Control G. Very good, Caleb. All right, Control G. We're going to group them, and the reason is because we are going to arrange them. So now that you have them all selected and grouped, remember we shift click to select them all. Now we grouped them, Control G. We're going to arrange them. So you right click on top of it and go to arrange and then send to back. And it should look like that. And that's all we're going to do to those. Now we're going to do these balls up here, the round balls. The problem is that they don't have you don't want to rotate it around this point. So where can you rotate it? Unlike the other one, this long line where you had a point, you can rotate objects around just some random point. So we're going to click the rotate or R. The shortcut key for R, rotate is R. So you can just click R and then you can press Alt and then find the center point of the circle and click it. Now you're going to do 30 degrees and copy again. And it will put it 30 degrees from that center point. So do it again? Control D. Do it again 10 more times. And you have this fabulous balls all the way around. Now, everybody click V, select the little tick mark, and we're going to do the exact same thing with it all the way around the circle. So you're going to click R, rotate. You're going to rotate it around the center, which is, what is the command for rotating it around the center? What do you do? Alt click,
E.
and you can rotate around a specific point. Click copy, and then we are going to do it again. What's the shortcut key?
Control D.
Control D all the way around. Okay, now you have tick marks. Okay, now we're going to select the hands up here and pull them over. Well, we can't. Why do you think we can't select them?
Because you're off the map.
Because they're off the artboard? That's a good thought.
Because they're locked.
Because they're locked. Very.
E.
Now you can select it, move it to the center of your artboard or to the clock, and you got your hands on your clock. All right, so let's recap what we did real quick. We rotated these long brown appendages, I guess, to the clock. We rotated them 30 degrees and alt-clicked the bottom point of the line, rotated around the center, and then by 30 degrees, and we did Control D to do it all the way around. We shift-clicked all of these lines so that we can group them, right-click, arrange them to the back, right-click, arrange, send to back. And then we also rotated all the balls around this center point. We rotated all the tick marks around the center point, and we used Alt-click to make the rotate dialog box come up. And then we had to unlock the clock hands. All right, the next thing we're going to do is move on over to the next page, shear. And you need to go ahead and open that file, AI 4-2. Shear. All right, save it as shear. Then you're going to select all. What is the command to select all? Control A. We're going to copy and paste it in front. What is the command to copy and paste in front?
Control C and then
Control C, Control F. Now that we have it pasted in front, we're going to open our swatches. So our swatches over here. Open your swatches, and then at the top, you're going to choose the second one, the second gray one. It's called graphite, and you have the front one already selected, so the front one turns to graphite. I want to see everybody's sheer graphite after you copied it and pasted it in front.
Okay.
Okay. Jack, can you help Jamie? All right. Paste in front is Control F. Okay, the next thing we're going to do while shear is still selected, we are going to scale it. If you'll look in the book, we're going to shear it to the right, which objects lean. It looks like it's leaning to the right, which is what shear is. We're going to lean it to the right, and then we're going to cut it in half, size it, and then we're going to put it in the back and then put a black stroke on the front orange shear. So anyway, let's go ahead and learn how to shear. Come over here to your tools, and underneath the scale, you're going to click shear. Okay? And you double click shear, and it opens up, and we're going to click 45 degrees. Make sure that it says, oh, hold on. We messed up a point. You got to alt-click the bottom right R. And then click in shear angle 45. Make sure that the horizontal axis is chosen. And then you're going to click copy. I mean, no, not copy. Okay. Okay. So we sheared it. Now we are going to scale it. So go over to your scale tool. Y'all should already know how to use this one. Click scale. You're going to click one of the bottom points on shear. Alt-click it We'll open the dialog box. And you're going to uniformly, non-uniformly scale it by 45. Sorry, 50. 50 in the vertical. Yes, 100 in the horizontal, 50 in the vertical. Click OK. Now we are going to right click on top of it, of shear, and we are going to go arrange, send to back. And it makes a shadow. Right click on top of shear with all of it selected. Right click, send to back. Arrange, send to back. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select shear. I'm going to have to shift click all of it because it was not grouped. All right, we're going to put a black 1 point, a little black 1 point stroke on all of it. And then that's it. So to recap, what we did was we had one word, shear. We sheared it by 45, which made it lean to the right. We scaled it halfway, so now it starts about midpoint. And then we arranged it in the back, and then we put a stroke on shear. All right, the next lesson we're going to do is A4-3. I'm going to open that. If you have one, like if you messed up on something, I'll come help you individually after lecture. Let's just move on so we don't get behind, okay? Just come back to it. A4-03. One more thing about the shear. If you don't shift click, if you don't alt click these bottom ones, then it's going to end up just being 50%. Like it's going to be from like here to here, like in the middle. But if you click the bottom, it will scale it from the bottom instead of from the top, if that makes any sense. So clicking alt while you click a point anchors that point. All right, AI4-3, select the entire line. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to reflect it, and then we're going to select the anchor points so that we can join them, okay, because it's not exactly, doesn't start. If you look at your guide, Control-R brings up your ruler. If you pull a guide out here, you'll notice that there is a little bit of room. If you put this right on that line, come down here and look at this one, there's a little bit of room. So just kind of wanted to show y'all that. That's what we're going to do. All right, so we are going to click this path, and then we are going to go over to the reflect tool. Reflect is under the rotate. It is. The shortcut key is O. And the way that I remember that is that an O is completely symmetrical. So no matter what way you reflect it, it's the same letter. All right, so double click it, and we're going to reflect it. Actually, we're going to press Alt and reflect it. Alt on the top anchor point. Reflect it vertically. And then click copy. Well, that was not right. Don't y'all love it? Alt, vertical,
That reflection.
Vertical and then click copy. There we go. All right, you'll notice at the bottom, they don't go to all together. So what you're going to need to do is get your direct selection. What is the shortcut key for direct selection? A. Click A and then come down here and shift click these anchor points at the bottom. Once you shift click those, it selects only those two. And you can tell that because all the other ones are filled with white fill anchor points. And these anchor points are blue. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Object, Path. And then you're going to average the path in both. And it's going to bring them together right here. Isn't that awesome? Then you're going to go to Object, Path, Join. And it joins that path. All right, let's go turn this salt shaker purple. Because you joined it, you can come over here and you can join it. I did purple with a yellow outline. Maybe black would look better.
True.
Okay? Black looks a little better. Okay, wouldn't this have been so much easier to know about this when we did the other salt shaker, to where you could just outline with pen one side and then reflect it? That would have been a lot easier, and it probably would have looked a whole lot better because both sides would be symmetrical.
True.
Please don't forget to use the reflect tool. It is very powerful, especially when you're trying to make things look professional. All right, open up. This one is the most difficult that you will do for a minute. All right, it's all about perspective. Everybody open up 4 dash, I think it's 4. This one is, yeah, 4-4. It's all about perspective. Now, this one is a little more difficult. You need to select all, so Control A. And for whatever reason, it doesn't show that it's all selected like most of them do. What we're going to do is we are going to drag. You're going to get the free transform tool, which is over here. It is E. The shortcut key is E for free transform tool. And then you are going to come over here to the top right. And you're going to wait until you hover over that anchor point, and it is going to turn your cursor into a double-sided arrow with a line in between. Okay, don't do anything until you find that arrow. Okay, free transform tool, find that arrow. Now, this is the tricky part. You have to start dragging, clicking, and dragging. So I want everybody's left hand up in the air. Everybody's left hand, put it up in the air. I need to see everybody's left hand. Left, Riley, I don't see yours.
That's wrong.
Now, start clicking and dragging just a little bit right now. Okay, now use your left hand, put it down as you're clicking and dragging, and press Control and Shift. Now, before you release, you can press Alt. All right, did everybody get it? Oh, we're going to have to put hands in there again.
Yeah, you lost me.
Okay, if your bounding box is not showing up, something you need to do is go to View and go to View Bounding Box. It's about a little over halfway down. It says Show Bounding Box. I'm sorry.
Got it.
Show Bounding Box. And that is absolutely necessary for every project. Okay, we're gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna Control Z, which is undo. And over on the very right top, I'm gonna make sure that I select all. I'm just gonna totally get out of this and do it all over. Control A, select all. Then I'm gonna go to the E free transform tool. And then I'm gonna come over to the top right path. Anchor point. I'm gonna start dragging with my hand, with my left hand in the air. And then I'm going to press Alt Shift Control. Now you can use your birdie finger to do Shift and Control at the same time because it's long, and then use your pointer to do Alt. Okay, if you're wanting to do all of them at the same time. And what that does is it makes it look like you're walking down a street and there's a billboard. Y'all see that? So the key here is to drag first. There you go. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. It looks like the what scrolls on Star Wars. What Wars? Star Wars? All right, open up AI 4-5. All right, this is just a box. Once you get the selection tool, this one is very, very important for me to understand the purpose behind it. So you need to open your book to 4-15. 4-15. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to offset path, use the offset path command. And the purpose of it is to get concentric circles. Now, what does concentric mean? It means that they share the same center point, but they are different sizes. Okay? You can use the scale tool to do what we're fixing to do, but I want you to see the difference between these two. So, we're going to take this square and we are going to go, you needed to have it selected, go up to Object, Path, Offset Path, and they want you to offset it by -0.125. Negative makes it go smaller, and then click OK. You do like it?
No, you would still find out.
Okay, try to press Control D again. Does it work?
I'm still got one bar.
Does not work. Okay, well look, yeah. I'm gonna do it about 5 or 6 more times. We'll get real good at it. You did it, great.
Good job, Alex.
Okay, I'll slow down. Select your square.
Select the square. Select the square.
Go up to Object,
There's the object.
Path, out, Offset Path.
Offset that.
Negative
Negative.
0.125 in the offset path, and that is this amount, this little tiny amount, and then click OK. And you got another one. Control D doesn't work. Go ahead and do that about 5 or 6 more times.
Well, look at what my Control D does. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, it's not okay.
Now it was. Object.
Object, offset path, object, path, offset path. Just do it 4 or 5 times. Object, path, offset path. One more time. Come on, you can do it. Object, path, offset path. Okay. All right. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Now, I want you to take the largest square on the very outside edge. Take that very outside edge one, and I want you to copy it. Control C. Let's make our artboard bigger. This is the artboard tool to make it bigger. Bigger enough? Control V. Oh, I just selected, yeah, Control Z. You got to get your V tool. V, select the outside one, copy and paste. All right, line those two up. Control 0, 2. All right, let's do the same thing, except let's use the other tool, the scale tool. So scale tool, double click it. We're gonna do, I think maybe 85% uniform. Click copy. That's a little too much. Control Z. Let's do, I just undid it. Maybe 92. Uh-oh, I didn't copy. Copy at 92 uniform. That's about right. Now I'm going to do Control D 5 more times. Yeah. Well, maybe a little more than 5. But what you see is they get closer and closer and closer and together. This, the one on the left, this one's so fast. But this one, because you can use Control D. This one, it maintains the exact proportions. See if we continue to do this. It's just a lot more time consuming. But it's the exact same width each time. Yes?
I got lost a little bit.
You got lost a little bit?
I got the second one.
Okay, I'm doing it again. So click your square, go to Object, Path, Offset Path. You have to have your path selected. So Object, Path, Offset Path, and then negative 0.125 in the offset. Click OK. Yes, dear.
When you're using the scale tool, it's uniform?
No.
No?
No, see, look, it gets from this, the width of this one to the width of this one, it's getting smaller and smaller gaps. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you if you scale, if you scale a smaller square, it's going to scale it by a smaller amount.
Okay, so it's not uniform?
It's not by a smaller amount, like a smaller dimension than if it's a bigger one.
So it's not
What do you mean?
on the scale. It's getting listening to.
Oh, no. It's uniform and do about 90. Object, path, offset path. Click OK. Object, path, offset path. And I'm just doing it over and over. Now, look where I am. I'm like at a teeny tiny little box right here. Can y'all tell the difference visually from these two? The one on the right looks like it's going in. Like you're looking at the bottom of a pyramid from the bottom side. And the one on the left almost looks like it's from the top, but not completely. Doesn't it? They look a little bit three-dimensional.
Actually, we both look at them.
Okay, the way that I did this right one is I clicked the outside path and I went to the scale tool over here, which is S, and I double clicked it and I uniformly scaled it by 92% and clicked copy. And then once I did it one time, I just pressed Control D a whole bunch of times. Control D. All right, so that's a unique little project. Let's go on to A4-5, actually 4-6. So you're gonna have to go to File, Open, navigate to your uh-oh. Great. I don't have it again. Okay, 8-6, and I'm going to have to stop on lesson 2 because I don't have the data file. All right, let's select the path. Everybody select the path. This is AI 4-6. Okay, after this, we're through with lesson 2. What we're going to do to this is we are going to apply heavy weight to a stroke path, then convert the stroke to a closed path using the outline stroke command. Now, once we start using, Cameron, this is important for you to watch. Once we start using the pen tools, this will make a whole lot more sense, like why you would use it. All right, increase the stroke weight to 36. Okay, I'm changing the stroke weight right here. Okay, this is a path. It is like you went over here, click the pen tool, and went click, click, drag, click, drag. Okay, it is truly just a path. All right, we're going to convert this to an object, which is so super cool. Go to click object, path, object, path, outline path. I'm sorry, outline stroke. And look what it did. It changed it into an object. Isn't that cool? I think it's so stinking cool. So if you will look at object, we have exploited 4 of those. So do we know what join is? That's when you have 2 paths that are not connected. Average is where you make them like the salt shaker, where we made them average both vertically and horizontally, and it made them join. And then outline stroke turns a stroke into an outline, and an offset path makes an object decrease by a certain amount, like a certain measurement, like inches.
The school is modern.
All right, then we're going to go ahead and stop right there for right this second because I've got to go find my data files. All right. Hey, you can actually go on my Google Plus, and you can go applaud it. They just added an applause on the lectures. Yes, it's fabulous.